Welcome to Baz Travels. After driving 14,826 kilometers through 24 states and Washington, D.C., I've seen rocket launches to the Grand Canyon and Hoover Dam. I've explored Route 66, ghost towns, deserts, snow, and beaches on both coasts. From Vegas casinos to Alcatraz, the White House to Hollywood. Join me for a journey of the ordinary and the extraordinary.
Loading destination. Simulation starting in 3, 2, 1. To look around, move your phone or tablet. Click and drag if on a computer or move your head if using a VR headset. Please like and subscribe.
Glenwood Springs is often associated with hot springs, but historically those springs functioned less as an attraction and more as a form of infrastructure. Long before modern development, geothermal water emerging naturally from the ground shaped how this location was used, occupied, and sustained. For Indigenous groups, particularly the Ute, the springs were valued for practical reasons. Warm water provided a place for recovery and rest, and the area was treated as a neutral ground rather than a territory to be controlled. The resource was reliable, predictable, and independent of season, which made it useful in ways that went way beyond ritual or tradition. When permanent settlement began in the late 19th century, that reliability became economically important. Unlike mining or agriculture, the hot springs did not depend on commodity prices, rainfall, or soil quality. The water flowed continuously, creating a stable base around which the town could develop. This gave Glenwood Springs an advantage that many nearby settlements did not have. Early commercial use of the springs was organized and deliberate. Bathhouses, pools, and health facilities were built close to the source, and the town grew outward from that core. Land use patterns reflect this. Development clustered near the springs, while transport routes and services connected directly to them. The resource influenced layout, not just reputation. The springs also provided resilience. During periods when rail traffic declined or regional industries slowed, the geothermal facilities continued operating. Visitors still arrived. Employment remained steadier than in the single industry towns. The springs acted as a constant input into the local economy rather than a temporary boost. Over time, the springs became integrated into municipal planning. Water management, access control, and preservation of flow were treated as a long-term concern. The resources were protected because it could not be replaced or relocated. Unlike surface water, geothermal flow requires conservation through regulation rather than expansion. The presence of a year-round geothermal system also affects seasonality. Glenwood Springs never relied entirely on a single travel season. The hot water functioned regardless of weather, which supported continuity in services, accommodation, and infrastructure investment. This practical role continues today. While the springs are now part of a broader visitor economy, they still operate as a stabilizing element. They anchor activity within the town rather than pulling it outward. Development remains concentrated, and the town avoids the boom and bust cycles common in nearby resort communities. What distinguishes Glenwood Springs is not that it has hot springs, but how they've been used. They were treated as a permanent asset rather than a novelty. That approach shaped land use, supporting long-term planning, and allowed the town to grow without losing cohesion. In that sense, the hot springs are not an accessory to Glenwood Springs. They're part of an underlying structure, a natural system that functions as infrastructure long before the term applied.
Simulation terminated. Please comment, like and subscribe.